All right, guys, let's do an end of the day chart. Well, first thing, I like to look at the strong levels and see how well did these levels do. It's just feedback for me as well. Am I marking these things well? And it looks like these levels were great that we marked out on Sunday. So really nice. So now let's just look at an end of the day chart, pure 3 minute core strategy levels. So the first thing we're going to note is we had a small range warning. Okay. I posted that in the group. We said it live on Zoom. And typically, what does a small range mean with a 95% certainty? If there is any certainty, but with a high probability. What it does is it takes out a high, it takes out a low, and typically comes back to POC. We see that over and over and over. And my advice on Zoom was to trade the edges. Let it take out a high, trade it. Take out a low and trade it. That is the general advice there, is to do that. And then when we see the entire overnight here, those are battle plan trades. We've got the low here, the overnight. We have the I'm at the London low here and the London high here. Taking out an edge is obviously the London high, the London low, and or the overnight low, depending on how these things arrange itself typically. And POC was right here about 46 at the end of the day. And then you just get this monster run up. And one of the things I want to note, Caleb actually had mentioned it, is you can turn on in your style here, final 30 minutes, stop trading. Why do you think that that's there? It's there as a warning of, hey, anything can happen here. Anything can happen. And if you happen to have gotten long off the strong level down here, and boy, I was so tempted to take 31 and put my stop under the low by 2 points and just say, you know what, I made my bed. That's where I'm going to live, and take that trade. And I just couldn't bring myself to do it. It really wasn't my rules. So I didn't do it, but I had the small range day in my head of us going back to POC, and even going back to POC would have been a move 15 points. And if I'd have taken a 31 long, because I kept giving, it seemed like I kept giving the 31 opportunity on a low time frame. Well, that stop would have been 7 points. Would have been 7 points. Not a bad risk reward there, but I chose not to do it. So no big deal. No big deal. So, but first of all, we had this small range. And is there any level in there we would carry forward for this move up? Well, you got to think about a couple things. Certainly we have a valley here, which presents the option of there being a backside, right? Where's your stop on that? Where's your stop on that? That would be a monster stop. The odds are that's not a legit trade. If you take that trade, it needs to be small and greedy. And for me, if I was looking at this valley and I wanted to be greedy, I'm going to go off the body of this candle here. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go off the body of that candle there. So let's drop back in time frames. Let's go see what happened here. All right. Well, first of all, let's stop for a second. We know we took out the London high. We know this was the top of the mapped out battle plan short. So we should have had our eyes on, okay, we took out the high. Now it's been 30 freaking minutes here. And you know, I was short up here at 62 and I ended up taking the gift to break even. 30 minutes of back and forth. Whatever. I mean, not every trade is going to be perfect. Not every day is going to be perfect. So if you took that body there, it went against you just a tiny bit. It came up really nice. And at some point there, you should have been saying, you know what? I really should be, I should have been looking for the short. But if we're looking for just core strategy, it did bounce up 2 points in your favor. So that's not a loser. And I really don't know where in the world you would put your stop loss on that, to be honest. That's one of the big problems with that trade is I don't know where your stop loss would be. It's going to be an arbitrary stop loss. It certainly doesn't fit inside of your leverage metrics. So I'm not sure I would count that as an entry. And then this would have been the break level. Did this get a new break level? No, because I don't really believe this was a 3-minute valley. But if you decided to take this as a break level trade, once again, you're probably going to take the gift of break even here. If you decided that that was going to be a clear break level for you, it's your choice. I wouldn't count that as a break level if when someone was going through the Core Strategy Academy, to be honest. Just it's not clean, clear, crisp, and I don't have the 2 blue candles. So nothing there interested me. Did this become a break level? No, because there was never a front side. So not a trade there in my humble opinion. And kind of 2 candle clearance, but no front side. Nothing I'm interested in. None of these are new break levels. That's nothing but a test of this, right? Even this is just a test of these break levels here. Nothing for me to mark. Then does this become a possible backside? Or does that become the backside? Or does this become the backside? Depends on how you want to measure that. But if you decided that was going to be a backside, no 2 candle clearance, no trade. And then we came down here to the next strong level, camped out. How long did we camp out? My goodness. Almost 2 hours. Almost 2 hours before it ran right back to the top. So when we're looking at this, this did become a break level. This did become a break level. This did become a backside here. This did become a front side here. Right? So those are things there that we know. Now, where was POC? POC was at 48 or 46. Let me turn it back on. There we go. POC was right here. And so we know small range day, we're probably going to do what? Take out a high. Actually, I want to change that. I want to circle. Take out a high, take out a low, and go back to POC. So careful shorting a back to POC move, and you're in the final 30 minutes. Is this a trade? Something to think about. Is that a trade in the final 30 minutes? Let's go in here and just take a peek at this. So if you decided to take that backside, well, first of all, let's go back real quick. Do you have fair value gapping candles coming at your face? Just one. Nothing really major. It's not like you had 2 or 3 coming right at your face. So if you took that backside and were using the front side as your backup, you almost were given the gift to break even. Now, if you're going to trade that, I recommend trading the body. And if you traded the body, it came to your backup level. It gave you the gift of break even against the 6 points from POC. I actually tried to be long here. I had a long at 39. I was a little greedy because we were getting to the edge of the 6 points from POC. We know that we're typically going to run back to POC, and I tried to I had a 39 long. It didn't get me in. So on a 3-minute chart, those are levels that are tradable. If you took the wick of the backside, you probably had a loser. If you took the front side, you had break even. If you took the break level, you had break even. And hopefully you recognize this was the final 30 minutes. Now, let's go up here. So what did we leave behind up here? We left behind a backside, front side. Do we have a beautiful break level? We don't have jack there. But you kind of have a backside, front side. And what did price do? Well, it came up here and it just gave you the gift of break even once again. But by this time, you recognizing the fair value gapping. Holy cow, what is just happening? I'm posting in the group, hey guys, 3-minute chart, not one down candle. And we've retraced 70% of the day. Once again, the final 30 minutes is rarely worth trading. The only time I will trade the final 30 minutes is if I believe the bulls are firmly in control. We're hanging out down here. And so the trade I was waiting for, I wanted us to grab the low one more time and maybe take out the Asia low. That's what I was really hoping for here. I was watching intently for that. I wasn't going to take the 31 long and put my stop under the Asia low. I said, nope, I'm going to make it take that liquidity, and then I'm going to go for the trade long to go back to POC. Had you done that, oh man, you'd have gotten paid absolutely gorgeous. So once again, when that price is 15 points or less, rarely is it worth trading. Okay? Rarely is it worth trading. If you're going to trade, follow the advice we talked about on Zoom. Wait till it takes out a high, trade that. Wait till it takes out a low and trade that. And know where POC is, because that is a back to POC move is highly likely. And in the final 30 minutes, who knows what's going to happen? If you're going to trade the final 30, be greedy, be small, and never make things worse. The battle plan has been posted for tonight, and I'll see you tomorrow.